The Squid Game diorama's in full swing. It's just a shame things won't be here much longer. Nothing good lasts forever. But at least that winged horse is okay. But why don't we heat things up? In addition to a few other adjustments. That reminds me, are we making horseshoes? No, just a mouth extension with bite. This bone's connected to the... Let's play it by ear. But seriously, does this make my tail look big? Good, that's what we were going for. You hurt your legs. We can fix that. Of course, we're just getting started. Just knew that seafood lunch would pay off. It always pays to keep an open mind. More room for teeth. Next, let's add a fresh coat of paint. Go on, Sleipnir. He's half the Pegasus he used to be. Always great to bring things together. And look, new wings. Nice and toasty, too. In fact, I could see a fire theme all over. Our equestrian friends are looking great. But we're not done. It's makeovers all over. Guess the unicorn had leftover horns. Now for some paint. Where have we seen them before? It's our Sprunky friends, just a little spookier than usual. They all look great, but now the backdrop feels off. Just need to clear things off and start from scratch. A fresh coat of black covers all blemishes. Talk about popular. Guess all eyes are on us. Some doors will really take us places. And I wouldn't say no to a splash of red. After all, our new merry-go-round should feel festive. Line up, my friends. I know you all want to turn. Neon green really brightens things up. Of course, we like things nice and dark. Make that boxes. Which to open first? Ooh, we've got bubble gum. What you waiting for? Time to take a big bite. Blow a big bubble. But there's a bit of a twist. Open the ball and give it some teeth. Next, we're gonna need some eyes. Talk about a fisheye lens. Au natural. What you need now is some shoulders. This'll help those chapped lips. And eye sockets. Pinky went from dream girl to nightmare. Now let's check out Oaxis's box. But it's time to check out his darker side. Ooh, Jekyll and Hyde would be so proud. And look what's inside. Some cool black slime. Roll it up into a ball. And grab an old doll. We just need to make some adjustments. Always a shame to lose face, but this is for a greater good. Next, it's time to grab some spare parts. Always great when gravity does the painting for you. Don't worry, we didn't forget you, Simon. Ooh, a school bus. That seems normal enough, but we can always fix that. Grab a bigger hammer. Always best to get back to basics. Now, we can build up our very own Simon. It's Ratty's turn. Ooh, confetti. Red, too. Noticing a theme? These things don't look like they match. But we just need to break things down and put them together. Note to self, don't eat the chicken. But apparently, the eggs are A-OK. Anyway, just keep putting these pieces together. Soon, we'll have our own Ratty. He's gonna need some eyes. This will make sure it stays on tight. Ah, Ratty's true beauty is on the inside. Our Sprunky friends are really coming together. Though Simon could use a scare.
Wow, now those are some real snake eyes. But that slime screams more snail than anything. So how about you all break out of your shell? Of course, sometimes it's safer to stay inside. Okay, someone tell Paul to pick up his giraffe. Oh no, your friends. Well, save what's left of them. We can always make new ones. Drain that slime. You know, if you're making a spider, 8 eyes is enough. Make a mouth. He can hold our Sprunky friends. But we should probably add a cover. Not to mention some holes for teeth. Use nails. I'm sure you get the point. Add some paint. Black is your color. Of course, a little red never hurt anyone. Guess everybody needs to get a head. Our new friend is a sharp-dressed thing. Uh-oh. Guess who's back? Stomach bigger than your eyes? This guy's another story. Don't you just hate it when someone gets under your skin? Of course, Oaxis will see our side soon enough. See? He's already embracing his dark side. Pretty soon, he won't be the only one. Orin knows it's best to keep an open mind. but we can always reuse these parts. Jeepers creepers, time to add some peepers. Don't worry, the heat will cauterize everything. Well, almost. Does anyone have a napkin? Still, now there's plenty of room for some fresh new organs. And now it looks like ribs are on the menu. Oh, it looks like Ratty wants to say hi. But now it looks like he needs to split. No bones about it. Still, let's help him get the point. Ooh, ouch. He could use some color, like a nice coat of green. Red and green just pair well together. I think Simon needs a little privacy. But we've got to keep on schedule. Besides, don't you want to show everyone your new smile? Anyone in the mood for pasta? You know, Simon always wanted to be a Cyclops. Of course, they usually have at least one eye. Veneria could use a little haircut. How about a new do? And maybe some eye surgery. Hair's not the only thing that gets extensions. And we don't just mean eyes either. Looks like someone's got a big mouth. Now for teeth. Ooh, anyone up for a bite? Hey Pinky, how about a makeover? What you need are some seashells and clay. Let's add eyes. Of course, you only need 2. And who says mouths can't be vertical? Almost done. Just need ears. Come on, Sky. Open wide, like at the dentist's. Careful about dribbling. Now for a little trepanning. Are things too bright in here for you? Try on some shades, but you still want to see. You're never fully dressed without slime. Everyone sure looks spooky, kooky, and altogether ooky. So how about a little before and after to finish things off?
Well, first we're gonna need a little unboxing. That explains the smell. Grab those blocks. Well, things aren't gonna build themselves. We're gonna need a strong base. Of course, we'll also need a tough lid, too. Hook it up. Whoa. And show off your brand new commode. Impressed? Well, wait till you see what he's got. Looks like he's gonna make a new friend. And it's Young Hee. Ain't she a real doll? Back to you. What we need's a tank. But just look at all these spare parts. Just kidding. They're just what we need. Especially for a few new additions. Looks like this Titan's going places. But we're gonna help keep you grounded. Meanwhile, here's a nice backdrop for young He. But there's still room for two. Of course, even she needs a little pruning sometimes. Jeepers creepers, why don't we fix up those peepers? Let's slash and burn that hair. Besides, bald is beautiful. Here's some eyes worthy of a power puff. And some extensions can work wonders. Guess cowlicks are like taxes, unavoidable. But at least there's still room to decorate. Now give us a smile and flaunt your flora. Look at those teeth. You're in good company. Okay, I could have phrased that better. Here, try this on for size. Look at those eyes. It's important to love the skin you're in. A purple dinosaur. Well, it worked for Barney. And you know what goes great with purple. Some pink for a nice fleshy mouth. Ooh, what sharp nails. Or should we say, teeth. It looks like our dino's switching to dragon. Which means he'll need to breathe some fire. In other words, we're cooking with gas. Next up, let's add something for the eye. Once the retinas are secure, add some black. Now, turn on the lights. Next up, let's add some horns. Drink umbrellas might just be for decoration. But when it comes to dragons, frills are never unnecessary. Here, we've got your back. Now, how about some melon? Never knew watermelon was so crunchy. This should help you grow a spine. But fruit's just a starter. How about some seafood? Always love the fin you're in. Hey, it's lunchtime. Spread those wings. It's chicken time. Make sure you save those bones. I mean, he might want to chew on them, but this works too. Still, those bones are looking kinda bony. Of course, balloons can always lift you up. Especially when you use them for webbing. Keep things aerodynamic and color coordinated. Ooh, someone wants to lend a helping hand. Arm. Add them on. Gotta love the T-Rex look. Speaking of T-Rex, he's got something for you. Purple clay to cover him up. Put some meat on those bones. Now add some texture. And we should replace those nails. Next up, add some spikes. Some paint. And a little ooze is always appreciated. Time for the big debut. Now, Keep on adding blocks. Come on, there's no spare parts. Sure you don't want a nutcracker or something?
Whoa!
Either way, it's time to catch up. Start building. Glue really knows how to bring things together. Shells are tough, but they can always be tougher. Horseshoe, snow, or king? The answer is all of the above. You can never have too many legs, especially crab legs. But start with 2. Come on, they're both great. Ooh, you've got a set of instructions. That should make things a little easier. Every one piece has its place. Speaking of which, love the shirt. And your transformer is looking pretty good too. That was hard work. You earned a soda break. Meanwhile, a little inspiration goes a long way. Besides, if the pieces don't fit, we can always make them fit. Some are already a nice shape, but we've always got scissors. Here's a rule of thumb when it comes to claws. Go big or go home. The meatier, the better. Make a little trim and add it on. Don't forget, we're gonna need a matching pair. Wow, going the extra mile with those shoulder pads. Okay, it's your turn now. Stack up those blocks. Those joints really help things bend. Of course, he's gonna need a good head on his shoulders. Yeah, we're really gonna shake things up. Don't worry, we've already got a head for you. Red's classic, but sometimes you gotta think pink. Either way, a little black goes with everything. And we can't forget some custom accents. Your turn. Okay, spin around. That didn't work. Yeah, it's better if you just stay still. And a little custom stripe won't hurt. Add some digits. That puts a new face on things. Okay, you guys are ready. Let's get ready to rumble. Now for a pinch to lose an inch. Careful now, you don't want to lose face. Get scratching and see if you won. It's young Key. Ain't she a doll? Never noticed what a big mouth she's got. It's a cookie. Granted, they usually go in mouths. Are you ready for the Squid Game? It's ready for you.